with your grandmother, you go to school, and then in the summertime you go to Kingston.
Right.
My mother was a PMP, staunch PMP, and my grandmother was staunch Labour.
Right. And you know what?
so,
I hear these stories all the time. Because people normally think that if one member of the family is one persuasion, that the whole family is that way. But you hear of husbands voting for one party and the wives voting for another, but yet they coexist.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. And one of the things that makes me proud now about the results of this election, and even the whole election process, is the fact that we have come such a long way that we were able to see and identify people who are wearing their green and who are wearing their orange,
walking side
by side.
Yeah.
They were driving in the same vehicle, because it is about camaraderie. It is about our differences, but at the same time we have to
learn to get along.
You understand?
Right.
So I was very proud of that. I believe there's a lot more to be done in Jamaica, and you know, I for what it's worth, I look forward to the change.
Right.
I really, really, truly do. I love me some Portia, but I want to say what Mr. Oldness has to offer.
Right.
And the rest of the day,
I think
the Jamaica Labour Party.
I was looking at some kind of snippets of some videos with Portia Simpson Miller, and I want to talk about two things with Portia. One of them, which is our friend Vegas, the entertainer. I don't know if you saw that video, where he felt moved to come out and actually berate some of the comments that were on Facebook that women were saying about the Right Honourable Portia Simpson Miller, who was then the Prime Minister of Jamaica. And I'm wondering, since when did we become such a nation of brutes? Because some of the things they were saying about her were really disgusting.
Of course, absolutely. Even some of the pictures that were posted.
You saw the one with the dog?
That's it. Yes, that's it.
And I thought, this is really disgusting.
That's the highest position in the country.
Exactly.
I don't care who you put up
so
there.
Disrespectful.
You cannot be disrespectful to your Prime Minister.
And it's, you know what, what I say, Sheron, is that social media has really given emboldened some people to the point that they're acting like savages. And you know, common decency and courtesy seems to have gone out the window, because I'm on Facebook or I'm on Twitter or I'm on Instagram or whatever. I can play the fool.
Yeah, we don't know what to post and what not to post. It's just
and it's just for likes.
Of course.
So you know, I was really disturbed, and
I was too.
You know, but hey, it is what it is. But you know, I think someone in the chat room would like to hear you hail them up. I don't know if you can see.
Oh, okay. Hey Nina Simone, how you doing, girl?
Hi Nina Simone.
That's my daughter all the way in DC.
In school?
In school, yes. I hope you're doing well, beating the books.
She is, but I want to say hi to Nina Simone, who logged in because her mom is live on internet radio on the Conduit show at www.e2onair. So Nina Simone can tell the other family members, hey, Mummy's on internet radio right now talking a bag of nonsense. But we're also going to be playing some music as we're talking about the election. So Vegas, as we know, is not one to hold back. He's not a shrinking violet. And this occasion, I agreed with him 100% that we cannot disrespect the office of any elected official. We get upset when people berate President Obama. So the rules should be the same for the Right Honourable Portia Simpson Miller. She's an elected official, high office.
Absolutely. She's
She's the leader of the government in Jamaica. This woman has travelled all over the world representing Jamaica.
That's right.
And some of the people who are berating her, they're saying she's a dunce, she's a fool. She actually has several degrees, and not honorary degrees that she earned through her own hard work. So that's just one of the things. And you know, we're talking about Jamaica and the change of government. So you know, as me in the diaspora, I can very comfortably sit back. I'm not going through what the people of Jamaica are going through. I don't know why there was a change of government, but it also speaks to the fact that there is a democratic process was carried out in Jamaica.
That's right.
A lot of countries don't have that opportunity to have free and fair voting.
Right.
So, you know, we can say that Jamaica is up there with more developed countries. Yeah, you were going to say something?
And by the way, you all should know that Portia Simpson Miller came from grassroots. She wasn't no upper class
Right.
or middle
Wasn't
class.
born with a gold spoon in her mouth.
No, she struggled and did what she had to do, and respect is due to her. So whether she did good for Jamaica or she didn't do good for Jamaica, or you as an individual Jamaican, whether you live here or abroad, you feel that, you know, whatever it is that you were dissatisfied with, it's no way, shape or form the right way to go about it.
Absolutely, absolutely not.
Saying all these derogatory things.
Yeah, it's really not called for, and Jamaicans should, those people who are responsible for doing it, they should be ashamed of themselves. I'm hoping that it was partisan politics, so it was the other side, but there's a line that should not be crossed, no matter what's going on. I mean, I know I say things about Donald Trump, but I think they're warranted. I wouldn't call him a dog. I wouldn't call him a dunce bat. I mean, I think he's crazy, and I'm very, very worried that he may actually be the president of the United States of America, because we are living in some very, very serious and strange times. I'm looking at a post right now that, and I can't say that like father, like son, but we all know the phrase, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. But in 1927, Donald Trump's father was arrested after a Klan riot in Queens, where the Ku Klux Klan went to beat up some immigrants. They were Italian. Yeah? And his father was arrested as being one of the Klan members.
Wow.
So, you know, we really need to wake up and look at the potential of what is coming round the corner. And that's why, Sheron, I think it's very, very important that you're here today, because you can advocate and say also, so we've jumped from the Jamaican elections to the US, the upcoming US elections, and why it's so important for people to exercise their vote.
You are absolutely correct, and I'm urging folks, and I can't say more how important it is as a female, as a person of color, as a whatever. If you live here and you are have children here, or whether or not you don't have children here, it doesn't matter. You have to make your vote count, make your voices heard, and that's the only way you can do that, by voting, by becoming a citizen, by registering to vote.
Absolutely.
And making sure your vote counts, because at the end of the day, there are people whose shoulders we stand on,
who sacrificed
to protect voters' rights, who sacrifice
their lives
and their lives for us to have that opportunity, and we should really take that very seriously.
You know something? It's so funny, Sheron. Nothing happens in a vacuum. Nothing is a coincidence.
Absolutely not.
Why you decided to come today?
Absolutely not.
And I just kind of grabbed her and said, "You're going to go live on air," and she's like, "No, I'm shy." I'm like, "But it's like, it's not that bad, is it?"
No.
Because we're having a conversation,
Yes.
and you don't really realize that you're broadcasting to people. But you know what? That's what it is. But this afternoon, I was pottering around the house, as I do on a Sunday, and I was flicking through the channels, and this movie came up. I've seen the movie before, but I decided to watch it again. That movie called The Help. I don't know if you saw that movie that had Viola Davis in it, that was telling the story of The Help.
Oh yes,
The Help.
Absolutely.
And I decided to watch that movie again. And sometimes I think to myself, this is the kind of movie, because I actually took my mum to see that movie, because when she first came to the US, she was The Help.
Right.
She was babysit. She was a babysitter,
Right.
but live-in babysitter. And I thought she would understand the history and how far we've come. I don't think we've come that far. I think we're actually going backwards.
Yes.
But I think it's the kind of movie that everybody should see, because we have become, I think we as a race have become very complacent, and we don't understand the sacrifices that people made, the things, the indignities that people had to suffer, so that we could have a better life, so that we wouldn't have to sit in the back of the bus, so that we wouldn't have to sit in the back of the restaurant or go through the side entrance. we've taken these things for granted.
Of course we have.
Because we don't talk about them. I have a job working at some high-end law firm, and I'm an attorney. I'm all right, Jack. But there was a very famous phrase, and I don't remember who said it, that until we're all free, none of us are free.
Of course not.
You know, so as it's Black History Month, we really need not to forget our history. Other races don't forget their history. Why should we? You know, and one of those is that we did not get the right to vote easily. It was something that was fought for, still being fought for, because I see the Supreme Court is now trying to roll back voting rights to give poor, disenfranchised people the right to vote. You know, the law is coming up before the Supreme Court again, and can you imagine, to this day, there's a law on the books to give black people the right to vote that comes up for renewal every 7 years or whatever. I mean, that alone should tell you that something is not quite right. But you know what, Sheron? I think we should play some more music, right?
Yes.
Or do you want to continue with it?
No, I think we should play
Nina
some more
Simone wants to hear
music.
Nina Simone wants to hear more from her mom. So I'm like, Sheron, what do you think about the American elections? I don't want to put you on the spot because I know you're in a sensitive.
No, well, you know what? To be quite honest with you, I've been on a couple of election campaigns, and I've heard people from different backgrounds, young, middle-aged, older people says, I can't be bothered with this. It's the same old, and whatever. And I have to tell you, I am one who believes that it's because you don't understand what's at stake why you take those positions. It's because of your own fears why you take those positions. It's because you don't know where we have come from or where we came from. It's because you've never experienced first-hand oppression, first-hand hostility from a person
for no reason,
right? Who feels like they're superior to you. Yes. So, if you are in those positions and you're taking the positions like I don't want to be bothered, you are so wrong.
But I could never understand people that take their right to vote in such a cavalier, such a blasé manner, like, oh, me not vote. Yeah. I would never.
Yeah.
When I first came to America, as soon as I was able to apply to become a citizen, I did it. Even before the 5 years was up, my application was in. Right. And I did it myself. And I'm like, you know what? I just refuse to pay into a system which doesn't recognize my voice.
Right.
And I take that as voting. That's my voice to say, I don't agree with this, or I don't agree with that, or I agree with this. That's what voting is for. Right. And I really take the right to vote very, very seriously.
Me too.
And I don't know how I can impart on the Conduit listeners how urgent it is, especially
in this election.
These times that we're seeing.
That's right. In this election, it is so much more. There's so much more at stake in this election than any other time. Because to be honest with you, if we have a Trump for president,
listen, my passport was renewed.
So much trouble,
and my bag is packed, and I'm deadly serious.
Because it's all hate, it's all hostility, it's all
and minimizing minorities.
Of course, I mean there is no way the character, some of the things that he says, I can't understand how the character of a president has those things in it.
They don't.
It doesn't make sense to me.
I actually put up a post on Facebook, and I normally don't do things like this because you don't want to be as incendiary as the person that you're complaining about.
Right.
But I actually put up a profile of Hitler, and I put up a profile of Donald Trump, and they were similar. They were similar. And I want to say, this time that we're living in was mirrored in the period that ushered in the Second World War. The same conditions apply. The world economy is going down. People are not investing in the country because capitalism, I'm fast realizing, it's run its course. It's not working anymore because there aren't people who have the money to buy the goods that are being produced. No matter how cheap the labor is, if there's no one to buy the produce, it doesn't matter. And that's the state that we're in. Because I know that some very high-end manufacturers, people like Fendi and Gucci, are now seeing in their bottom line that sales are dropping drastically.
Yeah, dramatically. Yes.
So
absolutely.
people, we need to wake up.
And to be quite frank with you, and also just bring another something else to your attention, which I find very, very, very disturbing, is that Donald Trump has really earned is billions of dollars that
from
he
his father.
Maybe so.
Exploiting people.
But he has also exploited people.
The very people that he's lambasting now.
Exactly. And I don't understand. And as we go out of Black History Month, Black History Month, as far as I'm concerned, is every day.
Absolutely.
But as we go out of Black History Month into International Women's Month, I think people ought to step back a little bit and think real hard and serious.
This is the man that...
If this is really the person they want to lead them. He has used his, exploitation and wealth to really exploit people even more. People have gone bankrupt for gambling. People have lost their homes for gambling. People have taken their lives for those things, because it's a sickness when you become an addict like that. And so, for what it's worth, and then with gambling comes prostitution. So there's been a lot, it's a lot at stake.
I never thought of it like that, Sheron, but you actually have a point.
Yeah.
Because it's a whole underground community, because then you need the people who you can go and pawn your things from, and they then charge you $1,000% return that you have to pay.
You got to be very careful what we're going for.
But I mean, just apart from the fact, if nothing else, the way this man talks about women and the fact that he is a misogynist, to me, I really don't believe he respects women.
I don't think so
And
either.
somebody mentioned the point to me that he's so busy denigrating immigrants, but I think 2 of his 3 wives
are immigrants.
Are immigrants.
His
Immigrants.
present wife is an immigrant.
His present wife is not from America, and also was it Ivanka's mother? I can't remember her name right now. Was also an immigrant. But we're not telling you who to vote for. We're just telling you, make sure that come election, November 2016. Yeah, November 2016, make sure if you are able to vote, you go out and vote. Because what is happening is more and more people of color are being disenfranchised. Because I know in New York City, if you're a felon, you lose your right to vote. There are some states that you retain the right, but in New York City, you do not have the right to vote once you are a felon. But that's another show for another day. So we've covered the Jamaican elections, and we might go back to it. I want to see what the listeners who are logged into the Conduit show in the chat room, what they'd like to say, if they'd like to chime in, or if you want to call and go on air, you could call 347-485-1154, and I'll see if I can hook you up so that you can go live on air, or we could just put the microphone to the cell phone, and other people who are logged in listening can hear what you have to say. So don't be shy. You can either type your comment in the chat room, or if you'd like to go out live, then you could call 347. I'm going to put that number up in the chat room, 347-485-1154, and we'll try and put you live on air. I'm in the studio with Miss Sheron. Should I give her last name? She says yes, Sheron Whitter, and she's a very high up person, but I'm not going to say.
No, I am not.
Was she high up? But she's definitely a community activist, and she always has a finger on the pulse in terms of the labor movement. I can give you that much information. I'm not going to blow up her spot. So she's my impromptu co-host this evening, because that's what she's doing. We're just having a conversation. Of course, it's the Conduit show, and that's what we do every Sunday. We always have a conversation. But in the meantime, we're going to get back to some music. So, wow. Oh, my goodness. I'm not going to play that one. I'm going to just, let's continue with the Jamaica trend.
Yeah.
And let me give you this one.
VIS. Boy, 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 boy.
Nice. I really like this.
Lord, Lord,
Like
Lord,
it?
Lord.
You want to come back and do it? Listen, right?
Boy, 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 boy.
It's not scary at all.
like
Music
this.
and vibe, more life. Alright. Everybody on the rock and come in. Hear your music great and come scan from the scene. Dance all turn up and all the juggling clean. We are the real vibes machine. Some the people cash the light as if you love reggae music. Keep on skanking if you love reggae music. Everybody if you love reggae music, pass a blank. I love the chalice if you love reggae music. Rock to the beat if you love reggae music. Everybody if you love reggae music, pass a blank. The peanut man, the chicken man, the party man, the rave. The man we juggle weed, the dancing man for make careers. Select the play the tune them like it.
Maybe you're not tuna yet. Where the music is from? I like that.
Party with your party like some bird in the beach. The girls them a bubble to the snare and the bass. Double liquor them we buy them by the case. So me say, cash your light as if you love reggae music. Just ask them if you love reggae music. Everybody if you love reggae music, what's a blank? Ain't a chalice if you love reggae music. Rock to the beat if you love reggae music. Everybody if you love reggae music, what's a blank? Reggae music, me bring it from Jamaica to the world. Every man and woman, every boy and every girl. The sweet reggae, rock steady. Like in the club and like a fire, it a burn. One drop, you fi pick it up. Dance and pick it up. Reggae it up, yeah, my friend, me tell you, don't give it up. White man a pick it up. Japanese a pick it up. Mr. Officer not try frig it up. So me say, light up your chalice if you love reggae music. Pass a wine if you love reggae music. Everybody if you love reggae music.
Pass a blank.
Pass up your lighters if you love reggae music. Keep on skanking if you love reggae music. Everybody from you love reggae music. Pass a blank. Pass your lighters if you love reggae music. Keep on skanking if you love reggae music. Everybody from you love reggae music.
Pass a blank.
Light up a chalice if you love reggae music. Girls bubble if you love reggae music. Everybody from you love reggae music. What's up, Slash,
Culture Jam Radio and Y Consulting Group proudly presents the Bus Ride to Penn Relays on Saturday, April 30th. We're going to the relays. Get your tickets and get your tickets early. The bus leaves from Elmont, Long Island, and from the Bronx. For tickets, call Yvonne at 516-429-9577 or Bobby Channel 1 at 646-302-3144. Call today for your special seating and early bird special. Tickets also available in the Bronx at Moody's Records, 3777 White Plains Road. In Queens, VP Records, 170-21 Jamaica Avenue. In Brooklyn, Golden Crust Restaurant, 1655 Pitkin Avenue. You can't afford to miss it. This is the Bus Ride to Penn Relay on Saturday, April 30th. And your tickets now. Tickets call Yvonne at 516-429-9577 or Bobby Channel 1 at 646-302-3144. Call today for your special seating and early bird special.
All right. So, let me say,
Right.
you normally go to Penn Relays, don't you, Sheron?
Yeah, I haven't gone in a few years, but
I'm not sure if I'm going to make it. Yeah, you got to speak into the mic, right?
I haven't gone in a few years. It's been the last couple of years. Rained. It's
Been miserable.
I
I went last year, and I actually went on that bus ride. I had so much fun.
Did you?
It was really good because it's, a bunch of Jamaicans on a bus ride.
Yes.
And Y Young, she's a great promoter.
Right.
So she had games on the bus, and there were vendors like selling, like you get your cap and stuff before you got to the venue.
Yeah.
And then we were all sitting together. So it was fun. But April and this weather and me outside, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make it.
Right.
But definitely, I would urge people. I don't know if she still has any tickets left for the bus ride because they normally go fast. But you could definitely reach out to Y Young, and I'm going to play that promo again. Actually, the number to reach her is 516-429-9577, and I'm going to put that up in the chat room as well. If anyone is interested in going on that bus ride, reach out to Y Young, because I've been, and trust me, if my health permits, I definitely want to go again, because talk about laugh. I laugh until I almost wet up myself. It was a bunch of Jamaicans on a bus, and I'm like, you know what that's like, right? But since we're doing some promos, there's another one that I've got to do. So let me just line it up and turn it down because it's really loud. So
Kingdom Citizen Promotion presents the Gospel Reggae Experience on Sunday, March 27th. Starring the champions of reggae gospel, Marian Hall, aka Lady Song.
Lady Song. We're gonna go.
Along with Lieutenant Stitchie. The Gospel Reggae Experience 2016, Sunday, March 27th at the Evander Child High School, 800 East Gun Hill Road, Bronx, New York. Come see it here, singing songs to praise his name, Marian Hall, aka Lady Song. Along with Lieutenant Stitchie. Special guests like Sister Ivy and Patrick Tyson. Hosted by Brother Gary. And music by Scarrett Boy. Doors on at 6 p.m. Showtime is at 7 p.m. Pre-sold tickets are $30. Tickets available in the Bronx and Express Form, People's Choice, and Moody's Record. A Taste of Island Spice in Teaneck, New Jersey. And Genesis One Restaurant in Queens. For info, call 845-232-1517.
Alright, so 2 promos there. The first one was for Pen Relays, and also the Conduit Show is endorsing that gospel showcase that's taking place. I think it's March the 25th. Let me look at my March the 27th in the Bronx. There are shows in Connecticut and in Jersey, I think, but I'm primarily concerned with the show that's taking place at Evander Child's High School, March the 27th. Showtime is at 6 p.m. And I want to go see Marian Hall. I really want to talk to Marian Hall. And of course, Lieutenant Stitchie is on that bill as well. Yeah. And Stitchie is such a dynamic performer. Have you ever seen him?
Yes, I have seen. Back in the days
when he was doing dancehall.
Yes.
I actually had the pleasure of having him as a guest on the Conduit Show.
Oh, really?
I need to find that video and put it out again. But I'm very,
absolutely.
Because he's such a humble man, but very funny. He has a great sense of humor. So it was a great.
Time ago too.
Really?
I actually met him.
Wow.